Hello everyone, this is Boobah from Boobah's Daily Gameplay, and today I will be teaching you how to use the Create mode in Little Big Planet 3. And if you are an experienced player, this is not for you. Anyway, when you press square, it brings up this menu called your Poppet. And this menu has all these different options, obviously. And I will show you the one specifically for Create mode. So, this very first one is called your goodies bag. It has a bunch of stuff, you can get these materials out. You obviously won't have as much as this, but yeah, you can select whatever material that you want. And then you press X to use, and then it'll give you all this stuff. I'll tell you what all of it is. So this right here means, just to put it simply, if you have it on the dynamic object setting, it means it is applied to gravity and it could fall down. But if you have it on static object with this mountain, then it means that it will just stay there. It doesn't apply to gravity, it just floats. And it cannot be pushed or anything. And then you can select which shape that you want it to be. Or you could do the functions, but I'll do that later. But this is the different shapes, which is the shape that it will turn out as. So if I were to choose the cross, it'll come out as a cross. And if I were to choose a triangle, it would obviously come up as a triangle. And so the next one is called your global stuff, which I will probably cover later because it's something. Here. Then this right here is called your Poppet cursor. You put it up, and it's literally like this cursor. You can select an object with it. You press X to move it around. And if you want to change stuff about it, you just press square while hovering over it, and then you can select it. You can even change it from being static or dynamic. And also, I might have put it into dynamic, but it's not falling. It's because we're in pause mode. What you need to do to go into play mode is just press your up arrow. There. So it fell down. Anyway, now, this is other stuff. I have absolutely no idea what this does, but the camera shine just kind of makes it shiny. Like that. You see? Right there, I keep changing it. So, yeah. So, with the Poppet cursor, whenever you select an object, you can move it around. And if you don't want the object anymore, then you can just press triangle and then it goes away. But let's just say you did not want to delete that. Well, don't worry, because you can press your left arrow, then it will undo. And whatever you did before, like your mistake, would be fixed. Or if you accidentally undid something, you could just press your right arrow, then it will redo. And yeah. And also, you may be in this fly mode, but if you want to get out of this fly mode, where you can go through objects and stuff, just press your down arrow, and then you'll be in this gameplay mode where you could just interact with everything. So yeah. Now this right here is called your tools bag. It has a bunch of stuff in it, and I'm going to skip all of this stuff because all of it's a bunch of confusing stuff. But it also holds music in it. Just saying. So you can, and whatever it is, you can place down the music, and you can hover over it with your Poppet cursor, and And here, I'll show you about 2 different kinds of music. So here, I'll have 2 different ones. So, this one called Secret Gardens is called an interactive music, which is basically music you can change the volume of each individual instrument. But this one right here, called Rumhee, is not an interactive music, so you can only change the volume for the entire song. And so here are these options, and I'm gonna turn off all this music just because. And so this right here is called your start point, and I kind of regret turning off all this music, that way I could show you. But it selects when your music starts. You can use your arrows to make it go into like specific spots. I mean like these spots. Or you can just move with your left stick to kind of put it into a more exact area, if none of these spots are what you're going for. And this right here is the trigger radius and the layer detection radius. This is the trigger radius, which is the radius within, if you go into this little circle that is the radius, the music would start playing. So for example, you have a platform like this. You would walk over, and you know where the circle was? As I got closer within that radius, it would start playing the music. Okay guys, this is Editor Me, but I never mentioned this, so I'm just gonna mention it right now. You see how it says visible in play mode, like right there? That basically means that while you are playing the level in something called play mode, which you're in create mode right now, and I'm in create mode for like this entire video, but whenever you're in the play mode, meaning that you're playing the level, it asks if the music is visible or not, meaning you cannot see where the music is taking place. You can only hear it, you cannot see it. So it's hard to explain, but yeah, it's hard to explain whenever I'm not actually playing the game, but yeah, that's basically what it means. And this right here is called the layer detection radius. So let's just say that these are in multiple layers, which I will teach you how to do this in like just a second. But you're all the way back here within the layers. The music will not play because you're in a different layer. You're too far away within the layers. You can go up front, and once you get into the layer radius, it'll start. So if you change the layer radius to be more to the back, or I'm actually going to change the start point really quick. So if you're back here, it'll start whenever you're farther away. So yeah. So let's just say that you want an object to be there in different layers. So instead of just placing it a million times in a different layer, what you can actually do is that you can change it with R1 and R2. R2 gets rid of a layer. R1 adds a layer. So you could just do this. And if you're right here, you can press R2 one more time, and then it has this like very flat kind of thing. I think, yeah, these are where you cannot actually stand on them, and they're good for if you want some sort of like backdrop. So if you want some sort of like backdrop for the level that you are creating, then yeah, you can just place it right here. Just make this like super big, and then it creates some kind of backdrop. But if you realize, oh wait a minute, I want to change the layer that it's currently in. Well, here's how you do that. So, to change the layer that something is currently in, you could just press L2 and L1 to change which layer that it's currently in. Like this. Now I'm just mashing everything. Okay. And also there are different kinds of materials. There are some materials that are just basic materials that just don't really do much except for exist, but there are these materials called climbables. And whenever you're next to a climbable is where you could just climb it. And glass is the obviously you can just see through it. That's a little obvious. And then sponge is a material that you can like grab onto. Like this. And I don't really understand this material, but you can also grab onto it. So yeah, I don't understand it. I think it's like just a heavier version of the sponge. That's what I think. And stuff like metal and stone and wooden stuff, mainly you could just use for looks, but I think they have different weight. And now here in the objects section, it is not going to look like this. I just have this weird glitch where everything's unorganized. But you could just place down whatever it is, and it's already in like the shape of an object that probably would not have been created very easily. Also, all of this stuff, mainly just everything in the tools bag, a bunch of that stuff will just have its own episode. But here now we're gonna go over this Earth one called the global stuff. First, you'll start off where you can actually change which character that you are. So you could just select which one, then you can transform into it. Sorry, video turned off. So with the global stuff, you can also, if you're in a menu of one of these, if you want to change this, you can either just move over, or if you want to just do it really quick, you could just press R1 and L1 to kind of switch. So here in the sack, this is the sack pocket items, which it only has right now the ones from Adventure. Well, it's always going to only have the ones from Adventure. Unless you make your own, but that's something for another video. And also there's this weird arm glitch. Like, it's really strange. I don't know why it's there, but it happens. But yeah, you can select which power-up and just like transforming into a character, you can equip it. And also, it also kind of comes to the sack pocket as well, so you could just go back to it. And then next you get to the Organizatron, which actually in create mode can come in two different ways. You can do it like how you normally do in create mode, where you just hold triangle and it has just the Organizatron, or you could go into global stuff and just go into the Organizatron section. But a normal, cutscene. And also, it changes the amount of the level. So if I were to save whenever it's a cooperative, it wouldn't have anything surrounding the level. But if I were to change it to a versus and then save it, you notice how there's this thing over the level. It'll tell you that it's a versus level. Then if you change it to a cutscene, let's save it again. Then it will have a little thing. I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it was called. But it'll have it on there like that. And so that's that. Okay, this is a bunch of blah we don't need to talk about. Now this stuff is a bunch of lighting stuff. You can change what color the little background of the level would be. And right here is the fogginess. It'll make the background color like fog. The darkness just makes it dark like this, and if you have it all the way, it'll become pitch black except for some light. Or you could just use the or you could just put the illuminator in your level, how to do that, that's for another video, but how to put power-ups into your level, but you could just use the illuminator. That way players need to use the illuminator to do stuff. But oh well. Then the lighting is basically changing it's kind of like a day cycle, you know? You can change it to be kind of like night. And in some backgrounds, it looks really cool. Like specifically the Little Big Planet 1 backgrounds, like the gardens for example. It's literally just like a day and night cycle. So you see how the lighting's all the way up, meaning it's day? You can move it and it starts turning night, and then once it gets to all the way, it's literally like night. Isn't very much for me to talk about right now, so I'm just going to say that's the end of the level. So